For today's video, we're going to be deck testing a hand buff Redoran conscription list, and I'm going to be upfront. I've tried a number of different hand buff lists in Redoran, and they just don't seem very good. Like, I thought that the archetype was going to end up being really good, and there's a couple of decks that I think are on the cusp of maybe being good. They probably need more refinement, but my first few days of giving the list a go, in various forms. I've tried conscription, I've tried more mid-rangey, I've tried a bunch of different things, and none of them felt great. That's not to say that they won't win games, it's just I felt like the power level would be higher than what I'm initially assessing. So since I couldn't find a good list, I'm just going to share with you the one that is the most silly. It's also the most polarized. This is a hand buff conscription list. I'm going to put the deck code in the video description. Basically, this thing either wins by like a mile or it loses horribly, and there's no in between. So I thought, we'll make a video with it. We'll jump on the ladder, play 2 games, win or lose. And like I said, this thing usually either wins really big or it looks pathetic. But since it's got such high roll potential, I wanted to record with it at least once. It really depends on the draw and the matchup, unfortunately. Wow, and we got paired way down for some reason. I feel bad for Vladish here. Against Empire, this is kind of tough. I think we're going to be greedy and keep the Fervor. That's super greedy, but whatever. If it's like Control Empire, I think it ends up being a pretty bad matchup for us overall, actually. But one of the reasons that I wanted to explore Redoran just kind of in general was the changes to Inspiring Kinsman I still think are really good. I just don't think it's necessarily for this particular list. And I really liked the new monthly card as well. It's a long time before we can take this out, just with what our hand is the way it is, so well, I guess try to trade even, because I can't stop them from getting the 1 rally, but if we can limit them to only 1 rally, that's kind of a big deal. It's not a good sign, though. Yeah. And scene. Okay, so it's not going to be going well in the immediate turns, but that's okay. It's all right. Maybe, probably not. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the rest of my videos this week. I gotta be honest, gang, I've been not having a lot of fun lately with Legends. It's been very hard to pull myself onto the ladder. It's partially the current meta, partially just a large number of what I would say are like ooh shiny things in other games. So I don't know. This is, I guess, my way of saying, hey, you might see some other stuff pop up on the channel in the near future. I'm planning on playing a bunch of Teamfight Tactics, for example, because it interests me.
Preparations have been made.
And obviously, if you've been paying attention, there's a bunch of Mythgard stuff on there. And if you have not watched it, how dare you? I think you definitely should. I mean, we need to start contesting, so we'll do this. The only thing it'll find naturally is the Night Mother, just like as an FYI. So if we draw another one and it's not buffed, it'll whiff. But I wanted 1 Night Mother for unstoppable rage combos that exist in here, but also I just wanted something to go fetch. Yeah, if you haven't watched the Mythgard stuff, how dare you? It's a fantastic game, and it deserves more views, and I deserve more views. So, how do you like them apples? Alright, so at least we're fighting for the board a bit. Ooh! Sure. Why not? So we could like rapid shot Divine Fervor here, but
All right, men.
this makes the most sense, I think.
I live to serve.
Now, eventually, being that this is an Empire player, they're probably going to play like Divine Fervor and mobilize these targets against me, but I think it's still correct. Oh, well, I suppose if they're using an Edict on the Night Mother, then they're not. That's one less that they'll have for the supports we actually care about. It's actually a pretty decent top deck. Let's just draw some cards. So one of the big reasons that I built this deck the way that I did is I really wanted to set up hand buffs into either Unstoppable Range combos, Crazy Squish the Wimpy. Obviously I'm running 3 copies of the new monthly reward card Champion of the Arena. So the idea was if you could get that thing super hand buffed, you could just win the game with it. This has to be what they copied, by the way, with their Galen, which could be a bit of a problem, but not a lot I can do about it. Alright, I see you. I respect you. Let's see what this gets us first. Not a lot to write home about. Even though we have the Fervor here, we don't really need to develop it, so I honestly think that doing something like this makes the most sense.
Training is over. It's time to act.
Just the sooner we can get these down and start generating value, I think the better off we'll be. And by getting this on the board, it means that these buffs right now anyway will always be hitting Hunger. So that'll hopefully give us an opportunity for splashy plays with it. Now, the biggest issue that we have at the moment is that we don't have a good answer for their conscription when they inevitably find it.
Chimera, spirit of the sky, guide us.
For honor and glory.
Because they will find it. I don't think I want to break that rune either. Developing the Fervor makes sense. We wanted this to trade. Apparently they just have a second Edict, so we don't get that trade.
Don't let them break our lines.
Buffed up our Forerunner though.
At the ready.
So this will actually trade here. So yeah, I mean, we're in an okay position as far as like board, number of resources, etc. We just don't have an answer at all for Unstoppable Rage. Or excuse me, for Conscription, because we have not found Unstoppable Rage. Now this is nice. That's the kind of pickup I like to see.
Shortcut. I'll clear a path.
So we're gonna do this because I want the buffs to guarantee hit the Wraith. I don't really actually want to play that, but I want to guarantee hit this with as many buffs as possible. It's kind of a big deal.
The Black Hand sees all.
Alright, Ungulum, Skilgulum, Soul Terror. Uh-oh. That's gotta be fetching what? Necro into Sanctuary Pet would be my wager. Looks like I am right on the first count. right on the second account. All right. Well, we found our own conscription, so...
I'll clear a path.
With them not having ring charges, that means we'll get ours off first, which is kind of nice. If I want to use both Squish and Edict, I can protect this. So is this 7-3 worth it? I think it's probably worth it. Because we're going to conscription next turn, and then we're going to likely end up playing this to just draw a bajillion cards after that anyway. So getting some of this out of my hand makes some sense, you know? I think that's fine. I would have probably taken a different path if they still had a ring charge and I thought they were going to conscription before me, but... in this particular instance, well, alright, that's going to be annoying. That'll be a Necro into a Necro into a Sanctuary Pet. I mean, it's got to be, right? Oh, no, they just want the commander. They prioritized that. That means they guarantee have a conscription there. That means... do I want to give them 2 more cards? I don't think I do. I think we just play ours.
I know I should
Smell the stench of the living.
I think we just play ours, expect them to do the same, but we're fine with our buffs hitting either of these. This is a ton of card draw, and this is a potential finisher, so...
Behold!
close the fort.
Alright, I don't think I want any more hitting this. I think we'd prefer it all the land here on the champion at this point. 10-4, oh my lord, alright, that's some overdraw, Captain.
I'll let nothing get by.
That is some overdraw, Captain. Alright, well we found rages, amongst other things. Yeah, we're gonna overdraw a bit.
I will keep Sotha-Sil's people alive.
We want Necros, and more hand buff stuff.
Did you hear that?
I'll let nothing get by.
Because they have to answer this. And we want a bunch of hand buff stuff, because if that all dies again, like, the more that lands on this, the better off we are. Because this can just end up being a finisher. Yeah. We drew some cards. We have another one. Ugh. Like I said, when this thing goes off, it like really goes off. Boo. Alright, there's their conscription.
It's time to act.
Did we already draw our improvised weapon? No, there is one improvised weapon in here, so like if we top deck that, we win, which is kind of funny. And we did not, but I think we just win anyway. Because this takes them down to 11, and then between champion and squish, we'll just win on breakthrough.
Speak, citizen.
I'll prove my nobility to the world.
Alright, so here it's important that we hit this one, I think. Because we can't kill them in the first swoop anyway, and we only want to give... well, no, actually, is there something with 6 health specifically? Because if I hit this, they take 4. So I would have to deal 7, which I can deal on this. Okay, so let's do this. I only want to break the one rune the first time. I want to minimize their chances of prophecy. Okay. So now we just win. So that's why Champion of the Arena was in here, and why I wanted to, one of the reasons I wanted to play Redoran was because, as you can see there, it can serve as a cool finisher if it gets buffed up. And so now we're going to go to game 2, and like I said, this wins big or it loses big. So we'll probably just get trounced for karma reasons this time around, but that's okay. AO Nomad on Archer, huh? Wonder if it's Aggro Archer. There's been an awful lot of Aggro Archer floating around lately. If I didn't suspect this was aggro, if I thought this was a control matchup, I would actually just keep this hand as is. Getting this early and this as a potential finisher that you can start stacking buffs on is a kind of a big deal. But like I said, there's been an awful lot of aggro archer on the ladder, and I cannot keep 2 cards that do nothing for me. Like, I just can't, so...
Hear that?
Now we just hope we draw something relevant before that dies. Because buffing the other doomed adventurer doesn't feel great.
Of course I'm on your side.
Okay, well, I guess that's pretty relevant. Yeah, either of those are fine.
Did you hear that?
I suppose either of those are fine. Still need to come up with 1 more damage on either one, though.
Coming, eh? Let's do this.
Have business with House Halalu.
Yeah, looking like it's that aggro. Let's get a good prophecy. Never. Rip. Now I'm just getting trolled. That is total trolling by my own deck there. Couldn't flip-flop those. Not one time.
Didn't see this coming, eh?
I guess we'll do this just to slow him down.
Come and have a taste, fetcher.
Deserves another.
I mean, Necro feels pretty bad right now, even at 5/5 next turn.
I only
Wow, that is a big kitty.
Training
I
is
guess we'll put this here
It's
because
time to
we need it to
act.
survive to buff this in trade, potentially.
Attack!
They missed their shot.
Problem is we're just super low on health. Alright, that helps a ton, actually.
I know a shortcut.
Oh, ordering! I'm so bad at this game. This needed to come down first. I just cheated myself out of the health. I'm so bad at this game. Alright, so I should be at 14 instead, but it is what it is. How many? Is that all of the scimitars now? Good lord.
Rise, my servant.
Alright, so we'll grab this. Just so that we can
Clear a
get rid of that. I'm still not going to poke now that we know they're running Afflicted Elite. Even 1 poke means we can give up a draw. Ugh, they're running Jarl, huh? There's decks that still run Jarl. I mean, that could have been a moose.
Chimera, spirit of the sky, guide us!
That's up to a 610. Like, in order to keep draining, I have to give up a rune anyway.
I'll see you dead.
So,
I'll clear a path.
guess we do this naturally against the aggro
What did
deck.
you
I give up
expect?
a
friendly greeting.
first rune prophecy, because why not? Do I swing with this to bait them into emptying their hand and then just playing red year? Probably.
Behold my power.
It's only one more card anyway. Alright, so that comes over to value trade.
You die today.
For Valenwood.
Care to make a friendly wager?
Yeah, it's worth 5 damage there. We're like 4 off of lethal right now. How funny is that? Actually, we're like 2 off of lethal if I throw this here.
You can't defeat me.
Let nothing through! Close ranks!
Huh. Okay.
Behold my power.
So now it's like, do I want to red year? Or do I just want to play Champion of the Arena and hope that they don't have bonus damage in their hand? I mean, you have to red year here, right? Because there's no way... If I play Champion of the Arena, they only need 2 damage. There's no way that deck doesn't have 2 damage.
Like Narnia.
But like, if I do it this way... Oh man!
Business with
We just got lethal because they played a lit! Alright. I guess that's one way to do it, gang.
I'll prove my nobility to the world.
Pick on one of these poor little Bardvarks, huh? That'll do it. Alright, Champion of the Arena, the monthly card, coming up big, 2 games in a row. That's it. That's the deck. Like I said, I'll put the deck code in the video description, so if you want to take it for a spin or take my list and make it better, because I will admit this is probably not the most tuned list. This is just the one that I was like goofing off with. You can do so. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Consider subscribing. Please watch the other content as well. Mythgard deserves some eyes. And anyway, until next time, may you walk on warm sands.